Hey everyone, Kiki here, and I am so excited today to bring you my first of what I hope will be a whole series of interviews. I decided to do this series just a couple weeks ago when I was at the CS for All workshop and I saw this next group in action. And I thought if we could just get these people in front of teachers, in front of students, people are going to be so excited. And I think that this is the right way to do it. So I have with me today Code Society, and I would really like to introduce them as my guests. Gentlemen, hello. Thank you for coming.
So great to be
Hello,
here. Thank you
hello.
for having us. If you don't mind,
Absolutely.
we'd like to introduce ourselves in a special way.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So it's the recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you're going to. Round and 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 go. Round and 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 go. So my name is Chenis Pettigrew, and I'm the Chief Creative Officer of Code Society.
Hello, my name is Armando Somoza. I'm the CEO and co-founder here. We're co-founders of Code Society. Super excited to share with you here today.
Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, you are the ones who inspired me to actually kickstart this show. And I think it's going to be really great for teachers, really great for students to know some of the exciting things that are out there, and that computer science isn't just about books and it's not just about the struggle of programming. So, would you give me just a little taste? Well, you already gave me a taste of what it is you do, but can you explain in your own words what your secret sauce is?
Sure. Let you let you start.
Absolutely. So our secret sauce is at the intersection of technology, education, and music and entertainment, the arts, right? So we're artists, educators, and technologists that have dedicated our careers to building effective programming and experiences for young people. So that's very much what we pour into Code Society as an ethos.
And Code Society uses original hip hop music, videos, and engaging activities to teach computer science concepts and computational thinking. And we like to think about it like schoolhouse rock for computer science.
I love it. I love it. And if there is any subject that could use its own schoolhouse rock, I think it would be computer science right now. It is definitely something that's super important, but it's also something that's super difficult and needs its own set of cheerleaders, I think, in order to really, really get it moving. So, what motivated you to get started to really put your heart and souls into this project?
I mean, for us, we say it all the time, but there's no secret that there are disparities in the computer science industry, right? And we see that with African American and Latino, and the presence of women as well in the computer science industry. And so, one, we see that as a need, given where our society is headed now and in the future, in terms of technology and technology employment. But we started this journey really using this methodology in other subjects. And students were having difficulty in a variety of other subjects, and we were using music and this really creative approach of culturally responsive pedagogy to connect with these students. You know, using things that they already value, things that they already love, and we saw a lot of great success. And so one of our partners, mentors, fellow educator suggested to us, he said, you're experiencing some great success on this side. You should try this in the computer science space because there's a real need there. Students are struggling in school, you know, to even adapt to the way in which this is taught. Currently in public schools and schools around the country, and this approach could work. You know, so try your hand and let's see where it goes. And here we are.
You had it, and we saw just tremendous power and impact in this specific approach, of using, music and youth culture as an entry point, using art as an entry point into the technology space. We engage and hook young people first by speaking a language that resonates with them. And then we serve as translators to then be able to translate these concepts, modalities, and different ways to engage young people into what the real opportunities in this whole technology landscape is all about, beyond just simply being, a coder or a developer. So we really strive to inspire. We talk about this all the time. We strive to inspire essentially our younger selves, So knowing what we know now in our professional careers, we build content to inspire our younger selves and introduce these new concepts in different and interesting ways to then welcome people into all the possibility that exists in the space.
That's fantastic, and I love that way of explaining it. I think that that's so important because um, representation matters, and unless those who are underrepresented uh, get out there and make themselves seen, which
Mhm.
means that the smaller percentage of people who are not represented need to be louder so that they get seen among all of the other people, then it's going to continue to have a issue there. So I would like to give everybody just a little taste of some of the stuff you've done, of some of the things that we're talking about today. So
Sure.
I'm going to, I think, play a little video right down here.
Excellent.
Recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you going to. Round and 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 go. Round and 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 go. Recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you going to. Round and 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 go. Round and round and round and round and round and you identify the problem, broke it into pieces, saw a couple patterns where they keep repeating. If it was complicated, you made it really basic. Now you need a strategy to keep it circulating. Recipe for success, a blueprint for building, some rules to live by, steps for solutions. Everything is clicking, got you in a rhythm, got you in the zone of your own algorithm. Recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you going to. Round and 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 go. Round and 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 go.
Let's be clear and well informed with no confusion. Control your flow and know the steps and how you're moving. It's like a strategy you use to solve a problem with, or directions to a place that all you're trying to get. Make sure it's thought out, logic and reasoning. It's passed in and brought out, much more seasoning. You gotta always know your when, where, and your why. Just take your time so you could decide on how to apply.
Recipe, prepare the feast. We all eat. Algorithm, Instagram, hashtag, Brandle dance, algorithm, show a track, GPS, make a left, algorithm, day to day, work and play, find your way. Recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you going to. Round and 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 go. Round and 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 go. Recipe, the formula, ingredients in order to get to the solution and the places that you going to. Round and 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 go. Round and 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 go.
That's amazing stuff.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, I wish I would have had that when I was younger. I'm glad I have it now. I would honestly play that in my car, just driving around.
That's amazing to
There you
hear,
go.
and we created it for that purpose. It's one thing to create music or art for the sake of education, but we wanted to make sure that it was just great for public consumption, that anyone could enjoy it, regardless of the context. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going out on a limb and I'm going to assume that all of this is going to be PG rated material. Am I correct there?
Definitely.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I think a really important point is that we really believe that if students can't learn in the way you teach, that you have to teach in the way that they can learn. And so using this approach of like music and youth culture, like the video that you just saw where young people see themselves, they hear beats similar to what they might hear on the radio, they hear, hip hop and feel that culture in it, it automatically connects to them, and gives them an opportunity just to have a starting point, into a space that ordinarily may either turn them off or where they don't think they belong. And so, yeah, I mean, in order to get into the spaces where they are, it has to be PG.
Yeah.
For middle and high school students, we have to make sure it's palatable for teachers and parents and students alike.
Mm-hmm. to still have authenticity, have flavor, have like an entire approach that resonates with young people, that they see themselves reflected in the content. Because the unfortunate reality is that a lot of this approach that exists in the field can sometimes come off as a little corny, right? And sometimes young people they'll see right through it. They'll see right through it and identify. They're like, this is better than just a book or just working out of a terminal. But it's not quite it. So we strive, to really tap into the current sounds and trends and the culture of everything that exists, because we are products of this space. We've lived in this space, right? And that authenticity, we hope, always shines through in our work.
Right. I definitely remember some of the songs learning Spanish or learning some other very difficult things that they put in there. I just sang the quadratic formula to my son the other day. And those are things that stick with you because of the music, but they're not things that you listen to over and over until they become a part of like your just core being of really who you are and what you understand in the world. And I think that that's what I really love about your music, is that even if a parent introduces it to a student not in the context of education, and the parent has it on in the car and the kids start to learn those songs, they may not realize that they're getting that foundation of vocabulary, of concept that is going to carry them through in computer science. But then once they go into that class and they see those words put into action, they're going to realize, oh, I've been learning that for years. And I think that's where the magic of this really comes in. Of course, I can also see a teacher playing it in the class is arriving, or to show a class out. But yeah, I think that's part of where the magic comes from.
You got it. And I think that's a really powerful reflection of, and it's amazing to hear that, because we put so much energy and intention into the pedagogy, of what we do. We're pedagogues and educators. So all of the educational theories, everything from growth mindset to multiple learning styles to social emotional learning, like all of the educational trends that are existing across the country right now, we're deeply tuned into and bake into our methodology and our pedagogical approach. So as, pedagogues and educators, right, there's very intentional choices that we make around different learning styles and engaging and approaching young people through a responsive practice that, has been vetted and tried and tested, across the field, so it's always amazing to kind of hear the response artistically that community, young people, educators have to the music and the content. But the moment you dig a little bit deeper and really understand the intention that goes into the educational aspect of this, that's where, again, the box really starts to open up and the possibility starts to open up and the magic of it.
Yeah, I see it and I feel it, and I'm so psyched about it. Now, I mean, time is flying really fast, but I do want to know, do each of you have a favorite song so far? What's your favorite?
Wow. So all of the songs are based on the CS for All blueprint, the NYC DOE, that focuses on 5 specific computer science, computational thinking concepts. And those concepts are algorithm, abstraction, programming language, networks, data. My favorite right now is Data. And that song is actually going to be coming out next month. You heard it at the CS for All conference. We had a lot of fun creating it, and it gives an important perspective. It deals with the framework, definitions, and the concepts that are relevant to teaching data in the classroom, but it also frames data in our contemporary society as something you need to understand, as something that may be misused. As we know that there are many corporations that are in the news right now for their misuse of data, but helping young people really understand that they are living and will continue to evolve in a data-driven society. So that's my favorite song right now, Data.
I love it. Do you have a recording of that we could play a snippet of, or not quite yet?
Yes, we do.
You got it.
Okay, well, let's play some.
Get it, stack it, flip it, data. 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 Grab your phone, cameras on, collect intel like the Pentagon. Heating things up on the thermostat, accurate fact, co-signing that's not ordinary. It's primary, 1 and 0 like binary. Don't save face on the database. Key values in a risky place. Data's made to visualize, break it up and then synthesize. Loop it back and then automate. What kind of profiles your data make? I said data's made to visualize, break it up and then synthesize. Loop it back and then automate. What kind of profiles your data make? Get it, stack it, flip it, data. Get it, stack it, flip it, data. Get it, stack it, flip it, data. Get it, stack it, flip it.
Yeah, that one will get stuck in your head.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's a fun one. And again, the whole purpose of that is to be able to introduce, these deeper concepts to young people and ask these questions because, if you simply talk about data can be such an abstract concept that's difficult to kind of quantify and make sense of. But we are literally completely immersed in all forms of data off of our mobile devices, off of our internet browsing, off of all of those things. And people really need to know and understand what is happening behind the scenes with every interaction with some sort of digital hardware. And that's what this song does. It starts to really introduce and open up the world of what happens behind the screen, what happens behind the terminal, what happens behind the touchpad on a mobile device or on an iPad or tablet of some sort. So again, technology is just kind of ambiguous in our world. It just kind of exists everywhere. And we don't always have that literacy to understand what's happening behind the scenes.
Right. Now, is that also your favorite, Armando? Or do you have a different one?
It's my favorite right now. Absolutely. I mean, there's just, to the rhythm, the delivery of it, the cadence of it all. It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
And that important idea that you might think you're getting an app for free, but they're getting paid in your data.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
For sure. We share that in creative and fun ways in the song.
Yeah.
Yes, young people understand what's happening.
Because with data, you get it, stack it, you flip it. Data, so that's the whole thing. So again, it's introducing those concepts. More importantly, ultimately, the technology that goes behind that and how business models are developed and how people can have ownership and have insight into, what their interactions in the digital space are ultimately, producing.
Now, I think based on our amazing conversation so far that I probably have like an hour's worth of questions left that I can ask you, even some that were super important to me that I didn't get to. But along with wanting to know things like how you got started and when you knew it was going to be more than a hobby and some of your amazing memories, I'd also just like to ask, is there anything else about this that you would like to share?
I think what's really important to understand about CodeScty and our approach is that we look at ourselves as an onboarding entity. We look at CodeScty as pre-coding because the computational thinking concepts that we're conveying to students through all of our content, these are all concepts, and this is an understanding and a mindset that is transferable across multiple disciplines in many industries beyond computer science. And so if students decide that they want to be developers, coders, and work in the technology space, that's great and amazing. But having exposure to these concepts, being able to solve a problem, using algorithmic design, being able to really understand the process of creating, building, and solution-oriented thinking is important no matter what industry you're going into. And so we want to really instill that in students, that innovator mindset, to transform them, from being just passive users to being active developers and innovators of technology and society in general.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the fundamental principle that we introduce in all of our work. It's fundamentally about, leveraging the power of these tools, because they're just tools. It's tools and knowledge to then benefit young people who have been traditionally excluded from this information and from all of these pipelines for different reasons, whether that be gender, ethnicity, race, background, but also the teaching style, the teaching approach. We've seen an explosion in coding organizations the last, 8, 9 years, maybe even 10 years across the education field. And that's great. That's really important. But I think the fundamental mistake that so many coding organizations make is that they start directly with programming languages. And a lot of organizations don't focus on the larger concepts and the why. The why is technology important? Why should you learn this? How is technology impacting and influencing our society? So that's the fundamental place that we start, and then we're getting into programming languages later in that space.
It's it's so much fun. It's so inspiring. It's such necessary work, and I am so glad that you're there to step up to do it because you seem to be doing it right. Again, I'm in love with you. I think that you guys are going to go really, really far, and I'm so excited to be able to share your story with everybody here on my channel today. Thank you so much for coming, Chenitz Armando. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having us. And if you want to do it again, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you so much for the platform, for your willingness to share our message and our approach. We're grateful to you. We're grateful to that CS for All community for having us at the summit a couple weeks ago where we had a lot of fun. To anybody out there, you can go to codescty.com. That's CodeScty.com. Check out the music, check out the videos. We have original curricula and perspective guides, all kinds of different materials that people can download and engage with now.
Great. And I'd love to have you back after your album drops.
Here we go. December.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great one, guys.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.